everyone. Thanks for attending our session. My name is Atif Khan. I'm CTO and co-founder here at Alkira. And today I'm very excited to have Maddock. He's head of network security and cloud at Warner Hotels. And Warner Hotels is one of our customers. So today we are going to go into the details of how Warner is using Alkira to deploy their networks and connecting to multiple clouds and their journey with us. So excited to have Maddock here. I'm also joined by our CEO and co-founder, Amir. So with that, I'll give you just a 1-minute overview of Alkira, and then I'm going to hand it over to Maddock to take it from there, and then we'll get into a question Q&A type of discussion. And if you have any questions also, please feel free to ask questions, and we'll address your questions. So at Alkira, we started this company about 6.5 years ago out of Silicon Valley. Amir and myself are the two founders of this company. Our background is he was a founder and I was a founding team member at Viptela, which was a SD-WAN company before us, and was acquired by Cisco. So Alkira is, what we are doing is we are a networking infrastructure as a service company. What this means is we provide our customers with networking infrastructure, which is available globally. They can access it, leverage it anywhere across the globe to build common networks across different clouds, across on-prem locations, across users. They can leverage the infrastructure for many networking use cases. One of the main use cases is cloud networking or multi-cloud networking. So allows customers to do networking inside the cloud. It allows customers to connect many on-prem locations to the cloud. And while connectivity is one aspect of it, nowadays, as you know, networking is not just about connecting point A to point B. You have to secure the network as well. So it comes with integrated security services as well as networking services. And there's a policy and management layer, of course, on top, which provides all visibility into the networking infrastructure as well. So when customers build these networks, they have complete visibility into the networks as well. We are not like a managed service provider. We provide the networking infrastructure as a service, and customers use that infrastructure to build their network, and then they manage their network on top. We help them manage. We take care of all the needs from a networking infrastructure perspective. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Maddock, and we'll go into some details how and why Warner Hotels decided to go with Alkira. What were their pain points, challenges they were facing, and how Alkira is helping them address those challenges.
Thank you, Atif. It's always hard to do the session just before lunch, isn't it? You're dying to get out. Warner Hotels, who are we? Well, we're a UK staycation company. We have 18 hotels, 2 more in Scotland. So 18 hotels across the UK in the most beautiful countryside. These range from castles, I love castles because I'm Welsh, to stately homes. And the only thing missing there is kids. We are an adult-only hotel chain. You might not know us, but your parents may know us. So Warner Hotels, we have our own hotel network. We have on-prem and we have cloud. So we have multi-cloud, we have hybrid cloud. So let's concentrate first on our cloud connectivity. We have both AWS and Azure. Now, the first challenge we had is we were having a disconnect from our other company, our sister company called Haven. We were currently using their direct connect and their Azure connectivity back to our on-prem data centers. Now, we needed to stand up quickly and efficiently a connection between our cloud providers. Alkira helped us provide that really easily and quickly. The way that surfaced is Alkira will provide us a network connect straight from our AWS as a transit gateway for anybody who's used AWS or any of the hybrid providers, you can connect a transit gateway into your VPCs, which are your network constructs within your cloud. This is done the same on the Azure side with a virtual WAN. So we have the same connectivity. This allows us to communicate across the hybrid provider backbones between our clouds. That was stage one. Stage two is connecting our vendors and partners. Now, our vendors and partners, we had a challenge, as many companies do, with IP addressing. RFC 1918, everybody uses it. Everybody has an overlap at some point. So we need to NAT the traffic between our payment providers, our catering providers, whoever other vendors that we're using, between their address range and our addresses. So we were also able to surface NAT within the Alkira network. Stage three is we're going to surface all our firewalling within the Alkira network as well. Now, the main key for us was that we needed to all do this within a GitOps framework. We deploy everything within our cloud with Terraform, infrastructure as code, with GitOps, GitHub pipeline, CI/CD pipeline, and also being able to allow our developers and engineers to have distributed change management. So it was very key to us that our cloud infrastructure, we can deploy hundreds of changes a day, but our traditional networking environment, we can only surface changes once, twice a week. We had to go through an old traditional change management program to be able to allow the changes to be deployed. When these are taken into our CI/CD pipelines, we have a number of advantages with us. So we have repeatability, we have scalability, and we have reusability within our Terraform, within our infrastructure as code. So this allowed us to accelerate and allow us to do network changes the same way that we do our cloud changes. So we also have FinOps, SecOps, and now we have NetOps within our pipelines.
That's great. Great to hear that. So tell us a little bit more about networking as a code. Like that's a key for you guys, and how we help you from that perspective. Because I believe agility was like one of the main reasons for you to adopt Alkira. Like how quickly you could move with the network, deploying the network. So maybe a little bit more on that, if you.
Yeah, so we use infrastructure as code, Terraform. So what we do with that Terraform is all the changes are surfaced within a pull request. So when you deploy your infrastructure, you're no longer doing it ClickOps. You're not going into any consoles and clicking. What you'll do is you'll change your codified infrastructure. You'll issue a plan, a Terraform plan. That will show you exactly what's going to happen before you actually action the change. From that, you can make intelligent decisions. Am I deploying the right infrastructure? Does it have the right security? Is it the right financial size for deployment? Based upon that, you can then have the engineers who are affecting the change manage the change themselves. So it's the ethos of you build it, you own it. So every engineer has the possibility of actioning a change in a distributed fashion. This allows us to affect change very, very quickly.
That's wonderful. Amir, do you have any questions for?
I was just going to ask him that, it normally takes a long time to get this deployed. Before Alkira and after Alkira, could you share your thoughts on how quick this was and how much control you gained?
Yes, so the previous change management systems, we sometimes took between a week and 2 weeks sometimes to change firewall rules. Now we can change those rules within minutes. Having infrastructure as code to be able to drive this is just very fundamental and key to us. Before we had to arrange an engineer to go and do the change, we had to get that checked. Within Terraform, you can see what that change is going to affect and if it's going to be safer. We also have guardrails within our CI/CD pipelines So those guardrails can be baked into those changes and remove that human element and remove that level of risk which comes with.
And what about going between clouds? So you had to learn pre-Alkira all the networking in each one of the clouds. Did it help you from that perspective to have common infrastructure?
Yeah, we didn't have the greatest connectivity previously. So our AWS used to come down a direct connect to our on-prem data center. That then went back up to Azure. So all communication between AWS and Azure was via our on-prem network. So obviously that gave us some risk. With Alkira, we're able to peer directly between AWS and Azure over VWANs and transit gateways.
Great.
And also you're using it for multiple use cases, right? So
Yeah.
basically it's like your backbone as well, which is Alkira based. You have like vendors and partners connecting through Alkira as well. So maybe a little bit more about more details about that, like how this platform simplified all of that for you.
Yeah, having it all in one place is great. So we have full. It's like a single pane of glass. We have full visibility and observability of what we have connected through our entire network. So it gives us an up-to-date overview of how our network is configured and what traffic flows through it. If we do have any problems at time, Alkira also give us troubleshooting capability within the network. So you can have traces of packets. You can look at what routing's happening, and you can have a look at the amount of traffic that's passing between the different areas. One of the things we've had here as well is we've been able to have different levels of network separation. So if you think of a VRF, we have a vendors and partners VRF, we have a production VRF. So we can land route leaking between these different platforms underneath. So if in the future we did any mergers and acquisitions, we could connect another VRF within our network and be able to route that traffic between the two with a level of security. Or NAT, if again, we come into the same NAT.
And you're segmenting all the partners?
We are segmenting
on different
all the
segments?
partners,
Yeah. And selectively leaking resources into those
Yeah.
segments. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, so as you can see, it's a very comprehensive infrastructure and it's available globally. And you can implement a network within minutes now. And the reason we are able to do this is because we have built our infrastructure, our cloud, our routers, our complete infrastructure end-to-end inside the hyperscaler environments. So it sits inside Google, it sits inside Azure, it sits inside AWS. And it's common infrastructure for you as a customer to utilize. You use Alkira, you use the Alkira networking capabilities inside the clouds, and you're responsible for your VPCs and VNets, and you interconnect them very simply into this infrastructure in one way. And on the other side, you can bring in your traffic from on-premise using either IPsec or SD-WAN or Direct Connect, MPLS, any technology that you like. So it brings everything together globally. The days of procuring circuits, the days of deploying hardware, the days of upgrading software, they're gone. It is as a service. You can literally sit on your computer anywhere in the world and control your infrastructure. It used to take you many, many months to deploy a global infrastructure. You can get it done in a day. And you do a few days of testing, and you have a global infrastructure running. And that's the experience that our customers go through. We have customers like S&P Global who have talked publicly, Koch Industries and many others, right? And they've talked about how they have deployed a global network infrastructure within days, and their whole cloud networking and on-premise networking is working on top of this infrastructure. Whether it is M&A, or onboarding hundreds and thousands of partners, it's a truly distributed, streamlined infrastructure for that. So you can use segmentation to keep all the partners independent. You can use firewalls. You can selectively share resources with those partners. And now let's move forward. How does it help us in AI use cases? A lot of our customers are deploying, let's say, LLM services. They may have 100, 200, 300 LLM services. They put them behind firewalls inside the Alkira environment. They use extranet as a service capability through segmentation to selectively share information or resources to a select group of users, right? And that helps you with securing that infrastructure, preventing security attacks. That helps you with compliance. That helps you with the speed at which you want to move, right, to deploy those AI use cases. It's amazing how quickly you gain control over those environments and deploy them across the globe. And it's not a localized deployment. It is a truly end-to-end virtualized environment over the cloud provider infrastructure. It's completely transforming how networking was consumed. So that's how disruptive we are. And that's why our customers love us, because they can build this infrastructure, and they have complete control over whether they're using BGP to interact with their on-premise environments, if they want common policies, if they want to use troubleshooting mechanisms like packet capture or traceroute or ping, anything you want and had available in your existing physical infrastructure is available inside Alkira. So this is not your orchestration tool. This is a network that we have built. This is our cloud that sits inside the hyperscaler environments that you can use as a service from your computer, right? No long-term contracts, no nothing. You just come in, you bring in your SD-WAN, we can localize it. You bring in your IPsec, let's say you want to turn up something in Mumbai and connect it to clouds in the US. You bring in your local connection over the business class internet. We spin up SD-WAN from Cisco, Silver Peak, Fortinet, VeloCloud, any of your vendors of choices. You want to have firewalls deployed, we allow you to do that also. Checkpoint, Cisco, Palo Alto, Fortinet, everything is integrated. You want to deploy Infoblocks, DDI services, or IPAM services. You can integrate that into the solution. You want to interact with Zscaler or Akamai, that's also integrated into the solution, right? So you have a very comprehensive networking offering, which is available across the globe for your traditional networking as well as your future needs of networking. So that's what Alkira is, and that's why it was so exciting for Maddock to meet us, and he was like, just bring it on, I want to try it out.
I've worked in the network industry for many years.
For many years.
And, I moved to cloud because of the speed of innovation and the ability to stand things up in code. And now Alkira brought that.
Right.
And that's why you guys piqued my interest. And it's been fantastic. We've been able to stand up new point of sale terminal vendors very, very quickly, bring them on board within an IPsec, have that connectivity out to our hotels, enable us to give our customers a great time that will last forever. Right. But it's all about speed of delivery, robustness, and the scalability and different services that we can surface on this single platform.
Yeah. It's great.
Any questions before we?
That's okay. I have a question here.
I think he was first.
We'll come back to you.
So it was actually on the last diagram, the question.
Go back.
So where do the hotels connect? And apologies if I missed it at the beginning.
So at the moment, our hotels are still connected through our AWS side here for the direct connect. But the next stage 3, is where we land them on a hotel VRF. This is where we connect all our 16, 18 hotels on that as well.
So at the minute, the use case is to connect together the clouds in the different regions, and then you'll bring that.
Yeah, we wanted to do it in 3 phases. One was hypercloud connectivity. The next was vendor and partner connectivity. And the third was to bring the hotels into that.
I think, Nick, you had a question?
There's a question there.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Amir. Good to see you again. Just a question regarding your target audience, right? Is it geared for mid-size, small size, and what verticals would you say are very geared for this solution?
That's a great question. When we built Viptela, our mind was focused on large enterprises, and it was one-off. And when we built this solution, because this is a complete service that we have built as an infrastructure and that you consume yourself, right? We started building it as a multi-tenant system from the get-go. So it is a multi-tenant system which can be used by small, mid-size, or large customers. We have the largest of the largest financials or healthcare providers or retailers. This solution, we brought up I think close to 1,300 stores for a customer in 3 weeks. Can you imagine that? That has never happened in the networking industry's history. So that's how flexible and powerful this solution is. you can just onboard things very, very quickly through infrastructure as code, right? And it's all graphically available to you. So the moment you're changing, things through code, everything is appearing on the console that shows you exactly how your policies are implemented, how your routes are implemented, how you have complete control over the whole environment. So very good question. It's a small size and large companies can use.
And I'll just add a little bit to it. So majority of our customers for right now are large enterprises. And when we say large, these are like Fortune 100 type of companies. So, and their whole cloud footprint, and some of these are some of the largest, let's say, AWS customers or Azure customers in the world. And their whole cloud infrastructure is running on Alkira.
And not in one cloud.
And these are global
clouds,
deployments.
optimized.
And these are global deployments.
Yeah.
And these CXPs, which you see over here, Maddox has shown these CXPs on this diagram. Some of them have like 12, 15 CXPs running across the globe. And the moment you bring up these CXPs, there's a full mesh, fully routed, fully segmented connectivity between these CXPs. So you get this global backbone instantly just by bringing these CXPs up. So many of our customers, large customers, they are deployed like in many places in the world. And the more and more use cases keep coming up. If they have to deploy like one in, let's say, South Africa, they can just bring it up instantly. Canada or South America, they just bring these up instantly. Connect users, clouds, whatever they need to. You had a question?
Yeah, I have one question. Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Welcome. I want to stay at your hotels. You do it really great.
We'd love you to stay.
Wow, that sounds really great. But like, what is the outcome, of this? Are you seeing kind of software development, faster? It's like, kind of how does it tie back up into the business, of Warner Hotels?
Yeah, so the advantage of the business is exactly the same as what we get from the cloud. We can affect change really quickly. We can affect change robustly and reduce the amount of errors we get. So the uptime is better. Times I've seen in the past where we've had incumbent firewalls in place, we've not been able to see exactly what the rule sets are because we're via a third party. And making a change to something you don't have full eyes on is very difficult to make sure it works correctly. So having everything defined as infrastructure as code, it's already there already. It's semantic documentation. It's there. You know exactly what's there. When you affect your change, you can see exactly what's going to change. And you can see if that changes what you want or if it's going to cause an issue. So again, it reduces any downtime and just makes sure that our customers can access the services quick and efficiently. It also allows us to bring on new partners really quickly as well. So if we want to pivot and change from one vendor to another vendor, we can set that up really quickly. We're not locked into any existing incumbents.
Yes.
So a couple of questions. You may have already explained it, so it may be misunderstanding by me. Do you have an actual edge capability, or is it people that need to connect to a kind of fabric port? So if you were connecting branches, what does that look like?
Sure.
And the other question is kind of one of curiosity really for you, in terms of how has it worked internally? Having they're quite siloed, even though there are tools that bring together development and the networking people. How has that worked? Has it become the main networking people? Is it very kind of political?
Who wants to go first?
Sure. Do you want to answer? Or
Sure. So quickly, I think we're running out of time. There's a signal there. So I'm standing between lunch and... So quickly, your first question was how do you connect branches? So there are multiple ways you can connect branches to these cloud exchange points. We call these cloud exchange points. So one is like purely over internet. Like if you have any CPE, you can do IPsec from there into our CXP, and we provide all redundancy. We can go into those details how we do that, but redundant connections into it. Second is like SD-WAN. You can extend your SD-WAN fabric. If you have deployed SD-WAN, then you can easily extend that into these CXPs, because these CXPs allow you to run virtual appliances in there as well. So you can run like SD-WAN virtual appliances here, so they can act as like kind of head ends, and you can extend the IP SD-WAN fabric into it. So that's the other way. So another one is like because these CXPs are running inside the hyperscalers, so you can use Direct Connect in case of AWS, ExpressRoute in case of Azure. We also provide support for Google as well. So you can use that to come into from the data centers into these CXPs as well. And these scale horizontally. So you can scale from 100 meg all the way to 10 gig, 20 gig, 40 gig, and beyond, because it's scaling all horizontally. So those are the ways you can get into these into the Alkira network. And I think that
To quickly answer your second part, we broke it open how our organization works. So instead of having silo teams, network security, operations, design, we're affecting streamlined teams. So we're democratizing networking and security and financial operations within the teams that look after the products. Again, you build it, you own it. You have a skill set within that team that can affect your networking change. And all that's done within our CI/CD pipeline. Yeah, that's how we got to that stage.
Yeah. So last statement, our customers, they're so excited about this because networking teams used to lag behind cloud and security teams to deploy solutions. Now they're much faster, right? They're the first ones to complete. And that has never happened before. This is as a service. In the networking industry, we have never had end-to-end as a service capability. This is the first solution of its type. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, Matt, for coming on the stage and helping us out. Thank you, Atif. And please reach out. We have a booth here. So we're happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.